Alrighty, my PC kicked up the fans a little bit, but that should resolve momentarily. Oh, please. Just trying to send out social media notification. It did not work last time. Let me see if I can... Okay. Save that as a draft. We'll try to back out, refresh the page. Posted. Good. Now to check the stream overlay. I'm currently not receiving any video output. Mic and desktop audio are responding, thankfully. Okay, that looks better. Now we're going to resume from the hard save that we had set up time before last. Last stream, we did not get a whole lot of playing done, so that's not going to be a numbered part of this mess. That was more or less just me rambling about the Veilguard previews, and not necessarily in a positive light. But today, we are going to get some actual playing done. And by playing, I mostly mean walking and talking. But what's the trick with the blankets? Is it asbestos or influenza? Ticks from the other side of the ocean? Maybe you would disclose. Her with a capital H.
I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
What's the deal with requisitions? Like, what are you looking for exactly?
When you mentioned requisitions, I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site. Maybe Harriet can get our troops better weapons.
Alright, you told me what you need, but how do I actually deliver?
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Let's take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials.
So yes, basically, you just don't want me to put it in your hands. You want it about 5-10 feet away. Okay, so what exactly is your job then if I'm not handing it straight to you?
What do you do here?
I make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
Good job for, say, Sir Alistair Thorne. Or Ginger.
How does someone end up as quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served Ferelden under Ten Loghain MacTier, best commanding
Oh, good, the traitor.
officer ever seen. After they all turned on him at Dennerington, there wasn't much use for people who held that opinion. Queen Honora offered my services to the Inquisition. It was a kindness. She knew I supported her father and got me away from political garbage.
Well, good thing Loghain is still kicking. I don't remember if that ends it or if there's anything else here, but yeah. That does tell you a little bit about the choices I've been importing, in case you missed part 0.
The Grey Wardens after the Blight ended.
Yes, a mercy, they called it. Serving the order, they say.
But we could have just executed him, or I could have had him duel my Mabari Warhound.
Instead, he lives in exile, fighting Darkspawn until the day he dies.
Okay, so yeah, that's the one requisition I have available right now.
So we're heretics just like that. Should we surrender or...
Don't be foolish.
You're rather bunched up there. Are you still being chased in the chantry?
That prattle from Valroya isn't the word of the maker. It's politics.
Might as well get the war table started. As long as all the NPCs are all popped in.
Does it trouble you?
I don't think this has any impact on her approval rating, but I am curious.
I just wish I knew what it was. got it.
We will find out. What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The
Very
same
nebulous
level of
power. We're talking like
used to open the breach
War
in
Effort
the
Mass
first
Effect 3
place.
levels of nebulous.
That is not easy to come by.
Sounds dangerous. Sounds like fun. Sounds like you have an idea.
Clearly you have something in mind.
We do. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Such as they are, we lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
You're even taller than I'd heard.
Don't ask me about the
And
weather
of
up here.
course you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Discretion.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
I know why I'm here. I have the anchor. Let me just, I'll suck their cocks a little.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
Well, that was quick. Actually, no. We'll state the obvious. They're obviously speculating some malevolence.
They still think I'm guilty.
That is not the entirety of it any longer. Some are calling you a Kunari, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harbors.
Of course.
Chancellor Roderick
If it's not in a
believes,
human
no
likeness,
doubt.
it's not holy
It
enough.
limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
And I just saw the stream overlay break. Let me tab out for a hot second. Okay, we didn't lose the timer. It looks like we're back to live. Okay. The Herald of Andraste?
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from
And they
growing.
think the dead
They have
Pope
also
lady was
heard about the
also
woman seen in the rift
their
when we
Jesus,
first
or
found
Mary, I guess.
They believe that was Andraste,
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading,
which we have not.
the point is everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title.
Sorry for the notification noise. I
How do
thought I
you
had that
feel
on
about
silent. Let me just... It's a little difficult because I've got a bandage on my thumb. I could just use another finger or have a stylus, but... Okay, it's on vibrate. Let me check. Does Cassandra have an opinion about whether or not I am pro yet? I'll just go back into the proper instance at least. I don't know.
I'm not sure how I should feel.
The Chantry has decided that for you, it seems.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign. And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
The breach doesn't bother him?
They aren't more concerned about the breach? The real threat?
They do know it's a threat. They just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse. There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance.
I'm probably going to be
could
redoing some
valuable.
dialogue. Just reload the hard save. Why would she help us?
Why would someone from the Chantry help a declared heretic?
I understand she's a reasonable sort. Perhaps she does not agree with her sisters. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In
Of
the
course, I'm the
meantime,
popular
let's
kid.
think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
So yeah, this is something I showcased last time. The real-time missions. And by real-time, I mean you just have to sit and wait.
You're not pleased?
I am not convinced we are prepared for the full scrutiny of Valrio.
Oh yeah, you can't just back out. You have to do this one on your first visit. And thankfully we have one power to burn. And this cutscene's unskippable. So I don't know if I want to change the dialogue choices I make there. I don't think it's anything terribly impactful in the conversation anyway. Not now. I want to back out and reload. Because there's dialogue options. Maybe I want to peruse some alternatives.
Does it trouble you?
No more than my actual arm. I know where my arm brace came from. Goddamn tendons.
I just wish I knew what it was. Or how I got it.
We will find out. What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Sounds dangerous.
Couldn't that kind of power just make things worse?
And people call me a pessimist. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
You're even taller than I'd heard.
No,
And
I do
of
not play
course,
basketball.
You know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
That's an impressive bunch of titles.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
I still disagree.
The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
That was quick.
That didn't take long.
Shouldn't they be busy arguing over who's going to become divine?
Some are calling you a Kunari, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have... It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
It's a little unsettling.
I'm sure the Chantry would agree.
People are desperate, and to others a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
Will the Chantry attack us?
With what? They have only words at their disposal.
And yet, they may bury us with them. There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the... She is not far, and knows those involved far better than I.
She asked for me? You don't think that could be an ambush?
I doubt it. From what I know of her, she's a kind soul, and not the sort to involve herself in violence. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hint... We need a...
Okay, we're gonna reload again, I suppose. Because I want to find more satisfactory dialogue. Alright, so I guess we're gonna reload again. And this cutscene is still unskippable, but I still like mashing the button. Not now. A smart person would probably just look up the dialogue trees on a guide. Me, I like to experience them.
Does it trouble you?
That's fine.
Not really.
What's important is that your mark the same level
Sounds
of
like
power
fun.
used to open the...
What harm could there be in powering up something we barely understand?
That sounds like,
Hold on to that sense of humor.
yeah, that sounds like a Fallout 4 sarcastic option.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
Cassandra tells me you have a plan.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach... The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
Does it
Can't
matter?
you simply ignore them?
If only that were possible. Some are calling you a knife.
Chancellor Roderick.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
Could we be attacked?
Will the Chantry attack us?
With what?
And yet,
No, it was the last
she's
one I
not
didn't
far,
choose. Okay.
and knows those involved far better than I.
I'll see what she has.
You will find
Okay, I guess I know what dialogue choices I'm taking there. Just need to get through this sequence, and then I can reload and actually stick to some choices. And once we stick to some choices, I can bring up a text file I have of all my war table choices. Because some of these lead to missable quests, missable loot. I want to get it dealt with as soon as possible. I don't want to leave it up to chance either, because my memory is as rubbish as ever. I have a strong temptation to download a mod that removes the timers on these missions, but I'm not going to it yet. Maybe next week, but not right now. Okay, now that we've got 3 dead timelines out of the way, let's actually load and stick with some choices. Save scumming isn't just a matter of getting preferable results in battle or randomized loot. It's also obsessively poring over
Does it
all of your
trouble you?
choices.
I just wish I knew what it was. Or how I got it.
We will find out. What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Clearly you have something in mind.
We do. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
No relation to Edward.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
You're even...
I'm not changing the batteries in your smoke alarm.
And of course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She
Subtlety?
is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
Cassandra tells me you have a plan.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet.
We need to grind
The Chancellor has
reputation.
denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
They still think I did it.
They still think I'm guilty.
That is not the entirety of it any longer. Some are calling you, a Kunari, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help.
I wish it limited your options harder, considering I'm not just a Kunari, I'm a Talvashoth. I'm an outcast of my own religion, never mind the locals. A Talvashoth Kunari mage. And now they're calling me the Herald of Andraste.
How am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste,
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading.
which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
I don't know how I should feel.
I'm not sure how I should feel.
The Chantry's
has
decided.
that for you,
Yep.
it seems.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that
Gotta
sign.
warm up to the
For others,
messianic
a symbol of
nomenclature.
everything that's gone wrong.
They aren't more concerned about the breach? The real threat?
The hole in the
They know
ozone's
it's
kind of
threat,
under
they just
control.
don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse. There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Why would she help us?
Why would someone from the Chantry help a declared heretic?
I understand she's a reasonable sort. Perhaps she does not agree with her sisters. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to
I
expand
wonder what
the
will
Inquisition
possess me to go
outside
to
of
Redcliffe more quickly.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
Okay, and now we place our trap card. More spell, actually, because we can trigger this right away. We only have one option, though, because the other ambassadors, they don't want to weigh in. Oh. Missed out on dialogue, not really, just flavor speech. Kill them all, let the Maker sort them out. New area unlocked. We're not going right away, though. Let's see which operations we have access to. These are basically idle missions. IDLE, by the way. Investigate Seralt. This is a quest you can't get anymore unless you already had it flagged on your profile. The minigame that you played on the Dragon Age Keep website, that was discontinued in 2020. So if you have this, you have it. If you don't, you don't. It just leads to a cosmetic you can unlock. It's not critical. But I would have preferred it was still available somehow. Now let's see. Let me consult my war table list. This is under Haven or Skyhold, so you don't have to do this one urgently, but I would prefer to. I choose to send Liliana here. It's going to take an hour, though. Yeah, I'm going to be wasting enough time, sure.
Let's see what we have.
So I'm just going to mark that one off my list. And what else do we have? The Veilguard mercenaries. Contact. That is also under Haven Skyhold. Okay. Oh, this is one where I think I would rather send, yeah, Liliana, so I can't do that one just yet. I do have to do that one. Not immediately, but soon enough. And you can't just pan across the map left to right, because this was designed with controllers in mind back in 2014. So you have to back out and go through more menus. Address a nobleman's concerns. This is Haven only, and I'm sending Cullen. Okay. And keep in mind, just because a character has more or less time tied to them doesn't make them necessarily the optimal choice here. Some of these I'm making choices strictly for flavor, others lead to different rewards, and others still even lead to operations begetting further operations, like a quest chain. So for this one, I'm choosing Cullen. It's strictly a matter of flavor. For the Seralt mission, I chose Liliana because depending on if you choose Liliana or Josephine, you get different missions in Seralt for the subsequent war table operation. And for Josephine's, I would say it's a rather unimportant follow-up. Meanwhile, for Liliana, you're basically quashing a rebellion. Well, you could quash it if you make the right choice for the second operation. Okay. Address a nobleman's concerns. Okay, I'm just gonna mark that one on my list. Now, I need something for Josephine to do. Let me see. The Terran of High Ever. That would also be ideally for Cullen, but it's not necessary. Hardened Hightown 3. Who do I have marked for that? Liliana. What can I send Josephine to do? The Terran of High Ever. Which one is this? This one I have, like, preferably Cullen, but it's not necessary for it to be Cullen. So I'm going to send Josephine, just to make sure it gets done. This would purely be a flavor consideration. No practical difference.
At your service.
And now, even though all three are occupied, you can still select some matters over others, but there's no real choice here, big ass air quotes, because it's just a matter of unlocking, really. There's a 0 power requirement. The Black Emporium was part of either an update or a DLC. It's just kind of there. So I'm going to get this tabbed off now, so I don't have to think about it again later. I'm accepting the report. I'm not going there, though. Not right now, at least. There's no reason to. Did I just lose the mark for... Oh, there it is. Okay, it's directly over it. Pfft. Gotta love that old overlay. Anyway. And are you going to give me the pop-up for world travel? Yep, now I get fast travel as an option. Alrighty. Let me put down a save. Let's go exploring. First time chatting with Josephine.
The Inquisition cannot remain, Ambassador, if you can't prove it was founded on Justinian's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked her life to slow the magic of the breach. Mistress Adar, this is Marquis Durelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
Marquis
As the
Traffic
rightful
Cone.
owner of Haven, how's Durelion lent Justinia these lands for pilgrimage? This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
So, you are the landlord here?
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denver, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to Divine Justinia. She is
Past tense.
She was
There you go.
a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
Do I say her advisors founded it rather than her explicitly, or do I go for the sympathy vote with followers needing shelter? I mean, the right and left hand of the Divine are both in on this. One of them is even on my war council.
Interesting, considering the Inquisition was begun by the left and right hands
There
of
you
the
go.
Divine.
I've seen no written records from Sister Liliana or Seeker Pentagast that Justinia approved the Inquisition.
If you won't take her at her word, I'm afraid Seeker Pentagast must challenge him to a duel.
What?
It is a matter of honor among the Navarans. Shall I arrange the bout for tonight?
No. No. Perhaps my reaction to the Inquisition's presence was somewhat hasty.
Or you could just pull up your shoulder pads.
We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montelier. The Inquisition might stay in the meantime.
Only as long as it takes you to get a higher quality mask, which could be days, weeks even. Does the Maquis own Haven?
Do the Durelians actually have a claim on this place?
His Grace's position is not so strong as he presents it. Despite their Ferelden relations, the Durelions are Orlesian. If the Marquis wishes to claim Haven, Empress Selene must negotiate with the Ferelden on his behalf. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
So he was bluffing.
His grace was all bluster then.
Even should he leave, the Marquis will share his thoughts on us upon his return to Valroy. Every guest we receive, and we will receive them, will spread the Inquisition story. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
Well, having you around can't hurt, I suppose.
I'm glad for your help. I have a feeling the Inquisition's going to need it.
I do believe you are correct. Thedas's politics have become agitated as of late. I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
So yeah, I'm going to reload. We are not sticking to a lot of choices. Not yet.
How's your Elion lend Justina these lands for pilgrimage?
People have been injured. You can't just turn them out onto the snow.
And who benefits if they stay?
Divine Justinia, Marquis. The Inquisition, not the Chantry, is sheltering the pilgrims who mourn her.
Why is the Chantry ignoring the faithful?
Because it remains in shock. We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would
Yeah, I
not
think that's more
want
flavorful,
us
appealing to his faith rather than
She would, in
threatening
fact,
him
trust
with
us to forge new
theoretical
alliances
violence
to the benefit
from
of
one of my
all,
party
no
members.
matter how strange they might seem. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
I'm so pleased the Marquis isn't tossing us out into the cold.
His Grace is only the first of many. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as
And just because this is a choice I
complimentary
never pick, let's take a look at it.
If every noble wandering by is as stubborn as the Marquis, what good is it talking to them?
as every kingdom is subject to its lords. The Inquisition will require their goodwill to survive. But please excuse me.
Yeah, I think I know what choices I want to make here now. And the best part is, those real-time missions are real-time synced to your actual clock, not the in-game time progressing. So, we're making more progress. We are going to be further along the war table missions.
Cannot remain a vessel. She can't prove it was founded on Justinia's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked her life to slow the magic of the breach. Mistress Adar, this is Marquis Durelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
And the rightful owner of Haven. How's Durelion lend Justina these lands for pilgrimage? This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
So, Fancy Pants France man thinks he's an owner.
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denver, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to Divine Justinia. She was a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
I think you should focus instead on making sure your shoulders remain armored, instead of your collar being shoulder armor and your shoulder pads being glorified pauldrons. They're closer to elbow guards than anything else. And you think we're going to take shelter advice from a man who can't even dress himself?
People have been injured. You can't just turn them out onto the snow.
And who benefits if they stay?
Divine Justinia, Marquis. The Inquisition, not the Chantry, is sheltering the pilgrims who mourn her.
Why is the Chantry ignoring the faithful?
Because it remains in shock. We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montier. The Inquisition might stay in the meantime.
Thank you for seeing sense. Not in your wardrobe, mind you, but enough sense in the conversation. Does he own Haven?
Do the Durellians actually have a claim on this place?
His Grace's position is not so strong as he presents it. Despite their Ferelden relations, the Durellions are Orlesian. If the Marquis wishes to claim Haven, Empress Selene must negotiate with the Ferelden on his behalf. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
So, sounds like you handled him.
I'm so pleased the Marquis isn't tossing us out into the cold.
His Grace is only the first of many dignitaries we must contend with.
You expect more people in Haven?
Undoubtedly. And each visitor will spread the story of the Inquisition after they depart. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
So let's start digging into her now. How'd you become an ambassador?
May I ask what brought you to work for the Inquisition?
Sister Leliana approached me. We've been acquainted for quite some time. For better or worse, being the Inquisition's diplomat has become as interesting as she promised.
I'm guessing you and your floofy clothes are able to guide her to her desired shoe situation. Or do you have some background beyond that of a cobbler?
What sort of dealings have you had with nobility?
For some years, I was the royally appointed court ambassador from Antiva to Orlais. The nobility of Thedas is a rather singular sphere. Those I'm not acquainted with, I know through reputation.
Well then, I'm glad you're here to deal with all the politics so I don't have to.
The Inquisition is lucky to have you as an advocate, Lady Montelier.
Thank you. Let us hope so. Thedas's politics have become agitated as of late. I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
I don't know if there's any more dialogue I can get out of her just yet.
What may I do for you?
Yeah, we can investigate a little. Okay. So, tell me about yourself. Already did that one, I guess. There's a good reason I saved before this. Sometimes things just kind of slightly break. It's an older game.
Greetings.
Just wanted to drop in. What are your duties?
What exactly does your job entail?
I meet with ambassadors from various factions and countries and cement alliances with them. We are a young cause. Diplomacy is essential to our credibility.
So, you're representative.
Then you speak for the Inquisition with these nobles?
I do. Someone must foster goodwill on our behalf.
Good call, because I'm not going to be able to do that.
Most of us friends.
But are we that controversial, really? The Androstians basically think I'm Jesus.
How heavily are our actions scrutinized?
Make no mistake. Every noble house, every throne is waiting to see what the Inquisition does.
I don't need chairs to vote for
Many
me.
are willing to pledge support if offers are made in just the right fashion. I intend to see that they are.
How did you meet Liliana exactly? Because depending on your choices, she could have been dead in Origins. And in 2, it's just a cameo, really.
How do you and Liliana know each other?
We moved through similar circles. I believe we actually met in Veilguard. Leliana was quite an accomplished player of the game back then.
What's the game? Pretend I've never read A Song of Ice and Fire.
What exactly do you mean when you say the game?
Forgive me. The game refers to the slow duels of influence among the noble and powerful of Orlais. It's a rather light-hearted name for the matter, but Orlesians are fond of playful touches.
I guess Mutual Cheers just doesn't have the same vibe.
Tell me how you came to work for the Inquisition again.
I'd been considering leaving my post in Antiva for a new challenge when Leliana recruited me. There's
Okay, now it
something
works this time. I guess I had to reload the instance.
seems a promising method to stop it. It's to everyone's benefit if we prevent the Mage-Templar conflict from spreading to Valenwood.
Is order why you signed on?
So was it the prospect of stability that drew you here?
The full impact of the Mage Rebellion has yet to be felt, and that was before the death of the Divine. The violence must be curbed before we see it turn to...
You're ready to report and while we're having a conversation. That's precious. it's not our fight. I absolutely agree. I don't. I'm not pursuing a romance with Josephine this playthrough. I couldn't if I wanted to.
I can only imagine the bloodshed if it escalates further.
I'm afraid history holds many examples of what will happen if it does.
What does your family do?
What business are the Montiliers in exactly?
We began as merchants. My ancestors founded the first trade routes to Reveil. We once sent entire fleets across the waking sea.
Once.
But not anymore?
These days, our vessels are a touch more modest.
About as modest as your outfit. So, tell me about your work.
What did you do before coming here?
I had the great honor of serving Antiba's crown as ambassador to Orlais. I'm also first in line to become the head of House Montilier, though my siblings attend to our mercantile affairs.
You're not acting on your country's behalf, though, are you?
How strong are your past loyalties?
I would never have given up my position if I did not intend to fully commit to the Inquisition. We cannot fall back on boldness. Antiva is as threatened as any country by the rebellions.
Finally, someone that speaks common sense with a very uncommon wardrobe. But hang on, are we here to deal with the assassination, the bombing, or what else are we going to work on?
Do you think the Inquisition will continue after we seal the breach?
If we prove ourselves by healing the breach, people may turn to us for other things. Protection, counsel.
Okay, I'm okay with being an Inquisitor. I'll try not to go full Commissar. How does that sound for a deal? In fact, speaking of Inquisition outliving this expedition, I didn't mean to become a Messiah. Do you think that's any kind of legit?
Tell me, do you believe I was saved by Andraste at the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I should much like to believe so, my worship. The miracles Andraste performed were so long ago, they're difficult to picture. If it were truly her and the fate who saved you.
And not Justinia, for example.
Many already believe you walk in the names.
And now we have her dialogue exhausted for the time being.
Later.
Oh, and you I needed to talk to as well. I forgot you were in this room.
You're the Herald. Or, well, one they're calling the Herald, anyway. It's odd to see them accepting a mage as their hero.
Right?
It must be easier because you're not human. They already see you as different from those of us who lived in circles. My name is Nave. I research demons and other creatures. Seeker Pentagast and I use what I find to help the soldiers fight them.
You research creatures?
You say Cassandra has you researching creatures.
Yes. If you find anything interesting in your travels, I'd appreciate you bringing it to me. I may be able to find some weakness our soldiers can exploit when fighting various creatures. At the least, some materials are useful for making potions or gear for the Inquisition.
Why study creatures?
Why did you decide to research dangerous creatures?
I like the outdoors. The idea of the outdoors.
The idea of outdoors is much more appealing.
Some monster is coming at you. Glowing eyes and burning claws. It's terrifying. But once you know how it works, you can deal with it. It's just another part of the world. So much of this world is only frightening because we don't understand it.
Very magically sensitive, or pacifistic if you prefer. Definitely a mage, huh?
You said you were a mage.
No, just an apprentice. Circle mages must prove themselves in a ritual called the Harrow. I was never very good at magic, but just enough talent to be a danger to other people. But when
Okay,
I
so you were
was there,
basically...
had nowhere to go.
You were in a circle as Juvie, pretty much.
Luckily, Seeker Pentagast took me in, along with the Tranquil to protect me.
You protected the Tranquil? It's not like they would be afraid.
You said that you were keeping some of the Tranquils safe.
Yes, the mages took some of them when my circle rebelled. The rest were forgotten. Most circle mages look down on the Tranquil, or try to pretend they don't exist. They don't have any emotions. They can barely take care of themselves, not defend themselves at all. It's a shame. I like them better than most people.
They're lucky to have you. And yeah, that is interesting considering once you're rendered tranquil, You neutralize a lot of the humanity in them, but then again, she's an elf as well, so she's probably neutralizing humanity as we speak. Lucky to have you.
Glad they have someone who cares about them.
They deserve better. They're polite, they're rational, they never get angry at you. When they study,
Neutered,
they
hear ya.
focus no normal person could ever match. But the Templars, even some of the mages, mistreated them just because they could. Tranquil never fought back. If not for that, I don't know. Doesn't really matter now.
Well, how would you rebel at such abuses?
Surprised that even an apprentice mage wouldn't join the rebellion.
I don't like using magic to fight. I'm not good at it either. I like studying. I like performing rituals that help us unlock the secrets of the Veil. I liked having the Templars around to keep us safe.
Unfortunately, you're in the minority on this one.
Templars made me feel a lot of things, but never safe.
You have not lived. I was born into a Dalish clan. I lived there until my magic manifested. The Dalish cannot risk having too many mages in one clan. And I was one more than they could bear. They gave me a pack and sent me into the woods to find my own life. I was 7 years old.
It's not quite Spartan, but, yeah, that is awful.
I'm so sorry.
I stumbled into a village, dark, a few weeks later. I started using magic to scare monsters away. The villagers saw me make a fire in my fist. They were terrified and wanted to kill me. Templars saved me from them. They gave me food, clothes, and took me to Berserk. I've seen what life is like without the Templars, and I want no part of it. I just want to study.
Well, maybe you can study this.
Found something the demons left behind. Can you use it?
Yes, that's very helpful. Just leave it there, and Tranquil and I will examine it.
Okay, I don't know if I'm turning anything in yet because I don't have a good way to track that. So I'm going to keep exploring beyond the Chantry. And my bitrate is tanking something fierce. Let me just refresh the Twitch overlay. That's not good. Okay, it's stabilizing. It's still unstable, but stabilizing.
For a time you dwelled among them, watched over them, as a gardener watches the earth for the first signs of life.
Right. I don't think there would be anybody in the prison just yet. Good spacing. All these yappy priests. Pfft. Anyway, time for me to headbutt this. Gotta use that Canary privilege for something. And I don't think there's anybody stationed here if you have no prisoners. None that I can remember, at least. And I don't think there's any way for me to open these because I don't have a way to control a rogue at this stage. Yeah, I think the only time I would be able to open these would be during a certain mission I probably shouldn't name, just in case you're worried about spoilers. Because that's the only time you can control rogue. I don't even think you could get them down here for that, though. So it's not in the cards. If you want to know what's in those cages, you have to roll a bit more of a sneak thief. Let me check the war table, because 2 of my 3 counselors are ready to turn in. This one, probably half hour, give or take? Yeah, 32 minutes. Okay. Commander Cullen, am I to understand you are in charge of the soldiers trampling on my lawns, providing food and refuge to the scrabble of filth burrowing into my land, A plague on you, sir, for spitting in the face of an honest petitioner, for taking advantage of my distress. Did my wretched neighbor, Ban Traft, whisper in your ear? Tell me what he paid you so that I might at least know the price of treachery, sir. My only consolation is that a few of the rank and file have gone to join your farce of an Inquisition. In bitterest disgust, Lord Kildarn. Dang old Lord Kildarn. At least we got 60 influence out of it. And now, Ambassador Montelier. The Inquisition emissaries were a welcome addition to our vigil. As a token of my thanks, I am sending Ferelden arms for your troops. May the Maker grant you never need them. Sincerely, Terran Fergus Cowland. Now we can give you to some more busy work to sort out. I want Liliana for that other mission I have in Orlais, so I'm going to send one of you to fundraise. Josephine, congratulations, you get the shortest timer on it. And can't do that because I don't have enough power, can't do that because I don't have enough power. Hard in Hightown 3, I think that one I want Liliana for. I mean, it could be any, really, but I think I prefer Liliana for flavor. Then again, no, not the Emporium, I want Hard in Hightown. I can't choose Cullen for this one, can I? No. It has to be either Josephine or Liliana. And I just assigned Liliana. I just assigned Josephine. So, that one's going to take some time. I can't put Cullen in anything else yet. I don't have other repeatable war table operations unlocked yet. Wait, did it change me to the pajamas? I just... Oh, no. I just noticed. Appreciate sister. Anyway. I gotta redo the dialogue with the low-gain apologist. Well, at least that faction halved. Fraction halved, I should say. Well, might as well, it's so abundant. Oh, Liliana, right. I guess we should get this dialogue out of the way sooner rather than later. There is a process of hardening and softening that will modify Liliana's behaviors. Even though she's not a member of your party, she has her own tendencies. And depending on choices you make in dialogue with her, she could be cold-blooded or at least a touch more benign. Yeah, she starts hardened, so you need to soften her, if possible.
No? What does the Maker's Prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
Game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky?
Don't break the fourth wall here.
What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
Shit happens? Not really, no. I can't speak for Andraste.
I speak for no one but myself, and I have no answers for you.
You probably don't even worship the Maker.
Lucky. He asks a lot. The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
Again, another shit happens option, but I would recommend blaming her killers. You know, as opposed to God. Lowercase or uppercase.
Maybe you should be angry at the people who murdered her.
No, that feels too sassy,
The
too
Maker
quippy.
doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants. What good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are.
I'm
I
definitely
thought it
going
was
to look into other
fulfilling his
dialogue
purpose
options.
for me, working with the divine, helping people. And now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Another shit happens option. I don't want Liliana hardened, though. Why are you telling me this?
I'm not really the best person to talk to. Doesn't the Chantry have people for this?
So I should let a priest comfort me? No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come, to work then. We will speak later.
Then you talk to her again once this scout comes in, and that's where you get the option for either softening her or let it just play out as she currently is. So we're going to do that dialogue again.
How about nails? Can Harry at least get me a few score nails by tomorrow?
Master Harry said I'm good at nails. He said I have a mind like a hammer.
Nobody translate for him, he's precious.
You speak Fandraste, no? What does the Maker's Prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
Don't ask me. I'm as baffled as you are.
You probably don't even worship. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
I'm sorry. Her death has clearly hit you hard.
Not just me. All of us. She was the divine. She led the faithful. She was the heart. If the Maker doesn't I thought her... Now she's dead. It was all for nothing.
Maybe you have another purpose. I could help you find it.
No, this is my burden. I regret that it was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again.
And now I'll try the shit happens options.
Master Harry says the new recruits will have armor ready soon.
I guess that blanket dialogue's already been flagged or something. Oh well. We've already heard it.
You speak Fandraste, no?
Awful things happen every day. Get used to it.
Get used to being a pawn? To be discarded when the Maker's done with you? The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demanded... Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
People are killed all the time.
If the Maker doesn't...
Yeah, that's boring.
She's dead.
This has nothing to do with me.
You're right. I shouldn't have let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. Come.
Yeah, those are boring dialogue options.
Master Harry says the new recruits will have armor ready soon.
think I'll snap at her first with one of the mean choices and then reel it back in.
To die so that your will is done? Is death your only blessing? You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's Prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
Shit happens.
Awful things happen every day. Get used to it.
Get used to being a pawn? To be discarded when the Maker's done with you? The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
Okay, I overreacted, and you're clearly hurt.
I'm sorry. Her death has clearly hit you hard.
Not just me. All of us. She was the Divine. She led the faithful. She was the heart. If the Maker doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the Divine, helping people. And now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Maybe a little levity would actually help right here.
I'm not really the best person to talk to. Doesn't the Chantry have people for this?
So I should let a priest comfort me? No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come, to work then. We will speak later.
Not right away, because you're about to be interrupted. We are about to be interrupted.
Stand on us. I hope my hunch was wrong.
Knew him well?
Not as well as I thought. Show me the reports. There were so many questions surrounding Farria's death. Did he think we wouldn't notice? He's killed Farria, one of my best agents, and knows where the others are. You know what must be done. Make it clean. Painless if you can. We were friends once.
Yeah, there's no omission here. But we're softening Liliana. We want her to be a little bit more humane, so let's just ask if we have to kill this guy.
Wait, what are you doing?
He betrayed us. He murdered my agent.
And you'd kill him, just like that.
You find fault with my decision?
Killing him is a waste. I don't have to moralize to you, I don't think, for the softening. I just have to make sure you don't kill him.
If he has knowledge, then he's a resource. Use him.
He's a loose end who could escape and get word to our enemies. Butler's betrayal put our agents in danger. I condemned one man to save dozens. I may not like what I do, but it must be done. I cannot afford the luxury of ideals at a time like this.
Ideals are crucial. You should like what you do. I wish it was that easy.
Now is precisely the time for ideals.
You feel very strongly about this. Very well. I will think of another way to deal with this man. Apprehend Butler, but see that he lives. Now if you're happy, I have more work to do.
The softening can begin. I don't think I have much in the way of additional dial I can exhaust from her right now. But I'll try.
Reports of fate rifts and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. No one else has any power over the rifts. Seal them.
Well, then it's a good thing we have a Rift Mage as one of our allies. Surprised you care about the mages this much.
Why do you want me to seek out the rebel mages? Why do you care?
I've known mages. Some of them were better people.
Well, she's not talking about
And yet
Morgan.
I'm free and they're not. It's not right.
You were Justinia's left hand.
They called you the left hand of the divine.
That they did. What of it?
What is the left hand, aside from the opposite of the right, aka Cassandra?
What exactly does the left hand of the divine do?
The divine always has enemies. And Justinia had more than most. I protected her. I watched, had an ear to every door. I identified threats, and I dealt with them.
Why so many enemies?
Why did Justinia have so many enemies?
There were many who felt she was unfit to be divine. She had a past, a worldly life, and like many, she wasn't given to the chantry as a child. She chose it, and somehow that made her unworthy. And because they thought she was unworthy, they wished her harm.
Still feels like you're dodging the question. Then again, you do probably benefit from a dex build, so evading, yeah.
Still haven't told me what you did exactly.
I handled difficult situations that couldn't be resolved through more delicate means.
Tell me more about Justinia.
I'd like to hear about Justinia. What was she like?
A friend. A mentor. Like me, she had secrets, made mistakes. It made her human. I think her followers responded to that.
How'd you meet her?
How did you and Justinia meet?
I met her a long time ago, before she became divine. Before she was Justinia. When I met her, she was Mother Dorothea. I was at my lowest. Broken. Lost.
Cast in Dragon Age 2.
And she saved me. No, wait. She hates it when I say that. I saved myself. She just showed me it was possible.
Were you more than just friends?
Was there something more than friendship between you?
You're asking if we were lovers. Typical. I was devoted to her, therefore it must be romantic.
I meant more like a
Love is
motherly
cold.
relationship.
Love is simple. My bond with Justinia was something greater. She was a sister, a mother, a teacher.
So a
if you
banjo
answer
mother.
your question, yes, it was more than
Thank you.
friendship.
Talk more later.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about Liliana again, so I will reorder my thought process on her dialogue later. For now, let's go back to the Loghain sympathizer, see if there's any differences, meaningful or otherwise.
Master Harry says the new recruits will have armor ready soon.
I didn't realise any of Liliana's Oxman mercenaries were still here. Well, want new gear, you pay for it. Oh, you're her. Thrin, Inquisition Quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
Is there anything else you need filled? Tell me about your requisitions.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site. Maybe Harriet can get our troops better weapons.
How do I fill your special orders?
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials and jot down what
So
we found.
yes, you just don't want me putting it directly into your hands.
What do you do here?
I'll make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
How'd you end up here?
How does someone end up as quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served for Eldon under 10 Loghain MacTier, best commanding officer this world has ever seen. After they all turned on him at Denerim, there wasn't much
And again, we know he was a Grey Warden.
I understand Loghain joined the Grey Wardens after the Blight ended.
Yes. The Mercy, people called it. Serving the Order, they say he betrayed. He could have led Ferelden to greatness. Instead, he lives in exile, fighting Darkspawn until the day he dies. Can I help you with something?
I guess I could exhaust the trees there by re-asking her.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials.
Yeah, okay.
And jot down what you found.
Farewell.
So I don't need to save and reload for her, I can just redo her dialogue separately. Excuse me.
Reports of fate raids and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. No one else has any power over the rifts. Seal them. Your legend will spread, and Thalos will learn to trust the Inquisition.
Why do you care about the mages? No, I didn't just ask this 5 minutes ago.
Why do you care?
I've known mages. Some of them were better people than me. And yet I'm free and they're not.
You're more concerned with the old lady than the Hot Topic girl. I get it. Just examining a cut I have. Need to make sure. Not bleeding. Okay. Any updates?
Anything I should know?
Good. Tell me about yourself.
Let's talk about you.
Tell me about your past.
What did you do before you worked for the Divine?
Is being a bard really that much fun? What are the benefits? Should I kick it?
Can you teach me to be a bard?
Oh yeah, I don't have the patience for that. Not even slightly. Got any stories?
Bards tell
They could be
tales.
educational.
I bet you tell some good ones. I should leave you to your work.
I want to look into more of your dialogue trees. You're well connected, aren't you?
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
It's nice that we get to ask her a little bit about the past pro-tags, because you get your save data imported, obviously. Hawk is not really something that's going to be conversational with her, but the hero for Ferelden, absolutely. Now, let's ask about Josephine first.
You seem to know Josephine quite well.
I met her a long time ago, but we didn't become good friends until years later. After the Blight, in fact. I'd just returned to La Rayo, and she welcomed me back by throwing a diplomatic ball. She was the Antivan ambassador at the time. The ball was... too many politicians. At midnight, Josie and I left to find a real party. We've been friends ever since.
A real party? What, you go shoe shopping?
What do you consider a real party?
It's not a real party until some small clothes are pinned to a chantry board. And that's all I'm saying about it.
Fair enough. So, did you know Hawk?
They say you spent some time in Lothering. Did you know the champion?
We spoke a few times. I seldom left the chantry, and we never became more than casual acquaintances. I saw more of the Hawk twins. Bethany in particular. She would spend time in meditation at the chantry, and she seemed to like my stories. The other one, the young man, he was a little firm.
Yeah, the surly one didn't survive.
The champion again later in Kermel. Those were terrible times.
But why were they terrible?
Was this when the Chantry was destroyed?
So I guess I'll have to double back for the Ferelden. I should have done Hawk last.
I'm listening.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
You met the hero of Ferelden?
You have a history with the Warden who ended the
You
Blight.
knew
don't
Fulan Artabris?
I still write to him for advice when I can. He hasn't replied to my letters in some time. I try not to worry about it. He can take care of himself.
Yeah, I think I played him as a Reaver, so don't worry, I made sure that wasn't the main save. Liliana obviously survived.
We can continue this conversation later.
You were Justinia's left hand.
They called you the left hand of the Divine.
That they did. More of it.
Is it alright if I ask any more questions? Why don't you join my party?
I could use the left hand of the Divine at my side out there.
Every agent out in the world is my eyes, my ears, my blade. Wherever my people are, I am also. Coming with you, leaving my post, would blind and bound me. Do you see?
I get it, you need your Wi-Fi or you'll literally die. I hear ya. But why start an Inquisition?
What is the point of an Inquisition?
Justinia would have started the Inquisition if the Divine Conclave failed to restore peace. She hoped that with enough support, we could challenge the very tenets of the Chantry. She wanted the Chantry to treat the mages fairly. Sometimes I wonder, why stop at mages? The Chantry has committed many injustices. If we're going to change it, why not change the whole thing? It's just
Easy there, Martin Luther.
none of
We already nailed one thing to a church door. I'm sorry, she's gone.
Sorry she didn't live to see the Inquisition. What exactly does the left hand of the Divine do?
A Divine always has enemies, and Justinia had more than most. I protected her. I watched, had an ear to every door. I identified threats, and I dealt with them.
Why so many enemies? We already know she's a spy master. Cassandra confirmed that.
Why did Justinia have so many enemies?
There were many who felt she was unfit to be divine. She had a past, a worldly life. Unlike many, she wasn't given to the Chantry as a child. She chose it, and somehow that made her unworthy. And because they thought she was unworthy, they wished her harm.
I can't just tell a spy master to her face she's being shady. That's a no shit. I feel... Just hammer it home.
You still haven't told me what you did exactly.
I handled difficult situations that couldn't be resolved through delicate means.
Tell me more about Justinia.
I'd like to hear about Justinia. What was she like?
A friend. Like me, she had secrets, made mistakes. It made her human. I think her followers responded to that.
How did you and Justinia meet?
I met her a long time ago, before she became divine. Before she was Justinia. When I met her, she was Mother Dorothea. I was at my lowest.
Did she have any red heels? Particularly ruby ones?
No, wait. She hates it.
Yet you slipped as soon as I mentioned the slippers.
It just showed me it was possible.
Was there anything else going on there? Was she like a maternal figure for you?
Was there something more than friendship between you?
You asking if we were lovers?
I just said maternal, woman.
Therefore, it must be romantic. Love is common. Love is simple. My bond with Justinia was something greater. She was a sister, a mother, a teacher. So, to answer your question, yes, it was more than friendship.
Let's continue this later.
We'll talk more later.
And that should mean her dialogue trees are depleted. Yep, carry on.
I'll leave you to your work.
Nothing to say about any of the blankets or armor. Okay. I guess those are run out too. Let's go chat up Solus.
chosen of Andraste, the blessed hero sent to save us all.
Yeah, you make it sound all fancy, so... What do you think, puckish rogue? Do I sound dashing enough?
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have suggested a griffin, but sadly they're extinct.
If not next game, we're not.
Posturing is necessary. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you will be.
I don't think there's... just ask him about his work. He likes talking about his research.
Any building strong enough to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the Fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
How can you sleep there, though?
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins? Isn't that dangerous?
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
Okay, bribing with consumables, that's respectable. Honestly, even more so than the shield. It's like leaving out rotten meat for the wolves in DD2. I'm impressed, yeah.
I've never heard of anyone going so far into the Fade. It's extraordinary.
Thank you. It's not a common field of study for obvious reasons. Not so flashy as throwing fire or lightning. The thrill of finding remnants of a 1,000-year-old dream? I would not trade it for anything. I will stay there. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate mage surrounded by chantry forces, and unlike you, I do not have a divine mark protecting me. Cassandra
Oh,
has
please,
been
you have plot
promised
armor. You're in the
to
sequel.
understand my caution.
Cassandra will protect you.
Cassandra trusts you. She won't let anyone put you into a circle against your will.
Thank you. I appreciate the thought. But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
I believe there's another dialogue after this.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it. Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
You think it survived?
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
Look, I understand what you're looking for, but if it's plot relevant, it'll turn up.
Anything with that kind of power is bound to show up sooner or later.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing.
I didn't say we're gonna find it at ground zero.
It's no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
Yeah, I want to pick your brain a little, actually. Tell me about yourself.
I'd like to know more about you, Solus.
Do I need a reason? He's gonna want a reason. I must know I can trust you. I respect you. Yeah, I do. You're doing good research.
You're an apostate, yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
Wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solus. I just wanted to know more about you.
I'm sorry. So much fear in the air. What would you know?
Why study the Fate? Where have you studied?
You said you'd traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins. You may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest
war zones in particular?
Any place in particular?
I dreamt Dostigar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, Logain's infamous portrayal of Caelan's forces.
Tell me what happened.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Caelan fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed, and a veteran commander refusing to let more souls die in a lost cause.
And you can't tell which is real?
It is the Fade. They are all real.
Reminds me of a Garrick line from DS9. All of the stories are true, even the lies, especially the lies. I'm probably butchering that line. Why study the Fade?
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest the young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Okay, so you kinda lost your head in your version of the internet.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than brightly guided force to make me tempted to do it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness.
Lucid dreaming, good for you. But I guess the thing with that dream is eventually you have to wake up.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
Two reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around me. Unless I travel, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interested.
So there's no boring ghosts. You need some fresh meat, if you will.
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our enemies destroy the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
I hope it works.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train your will to control magic and withstand possession. Your indomitable focus is an enjoyable sight. You have chosen a path of steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
Okay, you've chosen stuff, I've chosen stuff. Anybody else making choices here? Like, are you a solo operation?
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose.
Any friends on this side of the veil is what I'm asking.
Curious and playful and point out treasures I might have missed.
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
You're saying that
So yeah, exposure to a layman.
pride and desire demons?
They were not enough for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt. And if your mind is free of corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
That's amazing.
I'm impressed that you could become friends with spirits.
Anyone who can dream has the potential. Few ever try. My friends comforted me in grief, shared my joy. Yet, because they exist without formless, we understand it. But Chantry declares that spirits are not truly people. Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
This one gets a lot easier to argue once you have your full party, but until Cole is here, not really, no, because I would argue the consciousness, the immaterial. I'm not arguing this, no, I'm willing to argue this. Spirits lack free will. They are very easily corrupted, but to that same effect, so would the Tranquil. They don't really have their free will, we still treat them like people. Yeah, spirits, they should be treated like
I
people.
hadn't thought about it that way. I see your point.
I agree. Thank you. Few are willing to entertain such a notion.
I think a little more nuance to the conversation could do well, but
Talk
yeah,
later.
it functions. Let me pop another save. I saw one of my counselors, my advisors, was ready for me to talk. I haven't depleted your conversation yet. Tell me about the Fade.
What do you know about the Fade?
A great deal, I'm wondering. There are few hard facts, but I can share what I've learned.
We were already talking demons. Let's build on that.
I'd like to know more about demons.
The Chantry says that demons hate the natural world and seek to bring their chaos and destruction to the living. But such simplistic labels misconstrue their motivations, and in so doing, do all a great disservice. Spirits wish to join the living. Demon, that wish gone wrong.
Can we change it?
Is there a way to coexist? To live with them, if not in peace, at least without such active
Friction with the immaterial.
No today. The veil creates a barrier that makes true understanding most unknown. But the question is a good one, and it matters that you thought to ask.
Thank you. Now tell me about the veil itself.
I'd like to know more about the Veil.
Circle natives call it a barrier between this world and the Fade. According to my studies in ancient elven lore, that is of vast oversimplification. Without it, imagine if spirits entered freely. The Fade is not a place one went, but a state of nature like the wind.
Meteorology would be a lot more interesting.
Sounds like it would be wonderful.
That's dangerous. But yes, world where imagination defines reality. The spirits are as
I could look through that glass.
Instead, spirits are strange and fearful. The Fade is a terrifying world touched only by mages and dreamers. I am glad that I'm not alone in seeing the beauty of such a world, along with the obvious perils.
Now, we've been talking about the Fade, the Veil, but now we got that big hole in the sky, okay? It's not going to be solved by stopping hairspray. We survived the 80s, hair metal is gone. What can you tell me about the breach?
I'd like to know more about the breach.
It is a tear in the veil between this world and the Fade, allowing spirits to enter the world physically. Small tears occur naturally when magic weakens the veil, or when spirits cluster in an area that has seen many deaths. Your mark allows you to exert some control over the breach. That means it was created deliberately.
I guess that's all there is to it.
Talk later.
What can I do for you?
Nothing, apparently.
We'll talk later.
Already exhausted that room earlier. This one, I think I've already gotten everything readable out. Yeah. So now I have to go to the potion crafter. Because we're going to need more supplies eventually.
Felissa said to check with you to make sure these are safe to serve.
They're fine. Nobody will take sick as long as she boils them right. Smart woman for asking her. Huh. Look who's back from the dead. Again. I shouldn't be surprised. You Oxmen are tough as old venom.
You might have met an unconscious me. Or another Kanar you can't tell the difference between, but I'm going to assume I was unconscious. We met?
I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making us swear, though. So, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I didn't realize. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you can pay me back by fixing the world.
Oh, so just a small request then.
I'm in charge of keeping under the boundaries stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
Do you need any help?
Is there anything I can do to help out?
We're fine as far as raw labor goes. You've more important things to do than tend to them. I only wish I'd been able to find Master Tajin's notes. That bastard was working on something special. He died at the conclave, and his notes were in here. Too busy dealing with a wounded deliverer.
Okay, just theoretically speaking, disregard the notes. How do I actually get my pots? Plural. I'm not asking you for herb. Green or otherwise.
Having potions
Yeah, I know. I went all the way to slightly rotating. Well, how are things?
How are your people holding up?
No shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
Okay. What stick crawled up your ass?
For a healer, you don't seem particularly
That makes you the most realistic healer, by the way.
I'm an alchemist who's forced to play mother hen.
Never mind. You were realistic.
Claim on contact with the air? Done. Gladly. Patching up wounded soldiers is a waste of my time and talents. But there are a few around who can help.
So the only way to make an authentic healer is to get a DPS and force them to play support.
How are your people holding up?
There's no shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
Farewell.
I think I've only got potions unlocked right now. Yeah. No grenades yet. Those will start popping once we get Sarah, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where to get Dawn Lotus this early on. Yeah, I am strapped for rare crafting mats, so none of these upgrades are happening yet. Eventually, but not right now. And I don't remember where Tegan's notes are. Or if they're even in Haven versus another area.
It's far too soon to consider anything like that. No, that's not true. I'm sorry. But that doesn't mean the Maker loves you any less.
Now we can get in here. A tale of the Frostbacks. Even mountains had a heart once. When the world was young, Korth the Mountain Father kept his throne at the peak of Belenas, the mountain at the center of the world, from which he could see all the corners of earth and sky. And he saw strong men become weak, brave men grow cowardly, and wise men turn foolish for love. Korth devised a plan that he might never be betrayed by his own heart, by taking it out and hiding it where no soul would ever dare search for it. He sealed it inside a golden cask, buried in the earth, and raised around it the fiercest mountains the world had ever seen, the Frostbacks, to guard it. But without his heart, the Mountain Father grew cruel. His chest was filled with bitter mountain winds that shrieked and howled like lost souls. Food lost its flavor, music had no sweetness, and he lost all joy in deeds of valor. He sent avalanches and earthquakes to torment the tribes of men. Gods and men rose against him, calling him a tyrant. But with no heart, Korth could not be slain. Soon, there were no heroes left, either among men or gods, who would dare challenge Korth. The Lady of the Skies sent the best of her children, the sweetest, the cleverest, and strongest flyers, to scour the mountains for the missing heart, and for a year and a day they searched. But Sparrow and Raven, Vulture and Eagle, Swift and Albatross returned to her with nothing. Then the Ptarmigan spoke up and offered to find the God Chief's heart. The other birds laughed, for the Ptarmigan is a tiny bird, too humble to soar, which spends half its time hopping along the ground. The lady would not give the little creature her blessing, for the mountains were too fierce even for eagles. But the ptarmigan set out anyway. The little bird traveled deep into the frostbacks. When she could not fly, she crawled. She hugged the ground and weathered the worst mountain winds, and so made her lonely way to the valley where the heart beat. With all the gods' terrible deeds, the heart was far too heavy for the tiny bird to carry. So she rolled it, little by little, out of the valley and down a cliff, and when the golden cask struck the earth, it shattered. The heart was full almost to bursting, and the pain of it roused the mountain god to come see what had happened. When Korth neared his heart, it leapt back into his chest, and he was whole again. Then Hakon Winter's Breath found Korth's chest with 3 bands of iron and 3 bands of ice, so it could never escape again. And all the remaining gods named the ptarmigan honored above even the loftiest eagles. The ptarmigan, an Avar tale, from Ferelden Folklore and History, by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. Resources found here, Elfruit and Iron. Is it ptarmigan or ptarmigan? Parmesan? Ptarmigan? I'm not good at pronouncing things. I think I can only talk to Felissa in here. Maybe the bard. I don't remember anyone else. Yeah, sure, you found Jesus in a bar, I know. Do I just tell her to relax, or do I go into the, like, Maker sent me to help?
I'm here with the Maker's blessing, and I'll do whatever I can to help. Farewell.
I don't know if I want to play up the holy side just yet. I have to make some decisions as to whether or not I want to be faithful, considering decisions with other characters. Right, one good reason to reload if you're in the tavern. You get more songs to unlock for your codex. I don't remember which, if any, are missable if you go to Skyhold early. I don't remember.
It's all right, Felissa. I won't do anything frightening. No.
Okay, let me try another one. Oh, another song. Definitely save. Yeah.
You haven't met many Kunari before, have you?
You know, I think I'm gonna let her have her wish fulfillment. She wants to believe I'm chosen, she can believe it. Let's see if I get yet another song. I do. So I'm just gonna keep saving and reloading until I don't get that to pop up. Because it's very useful if you're not spending a lot of time in and out of the bar. Is this the best way to grind the songs? Not particularly, but it gets that out of the way. Okay, I think we're good for the moment then.
I'm here with the Maker's blessing, and I'll do whatever I can to help.
How do you know Liliana?
You said Liliana asked you to run an Inquisition tavern. How did you meet?
Okay, well, there's enough to find in this tavern here. I already got 7 songs to add to my Spotify playlist. What can I find in Haven?
What can you tell me about this area?
Yeah, I know merchants like that. It probably would have made more sense to start at the tavern, ferret out some information from the local barkeep, who is very welcoming of my religious significance. I'm going to double back to the War Council chamber, because at least one person's ready to turn something in. Okay, you're ready to turn that one in. Good. Investigate Seralt is done. My agents have infiltrated Seralt. If there is anything to hear, they will hear of it. Good. We're gonna have to stop some kind of uprising later. Now, let's see. Oh, I just got some kind of an EA award. It's decorator? Okay, I guess there's a dedicated system for that. Contact the Veilguard mercenaries. And who do I want for this one? Let me check my spreadsheet. I want Liliana for this one. In this case, she is the quickest. Many Talvashoth were likely captured and imprisoned after the Conclave. Our agents could free them. Let me actually read these, because this one is exclusive to Canary Inquisitors, so there's a 1 in 4 chance you've seen this, probably. I don't know what classes people like playing most, or classes, races. I imagine most people go for human, slightly fewer go for elf, and fewer than that go for dwarf. I don't know the numbers, I haven't looked them up. Adar. Let me try that with my throat this time. Adar, I heard you were dead, and then a prisoner, and then maybe you fell out of the Fade and landed on your head and forgot who you were. Seriously, stop that. We still haven't been paid. Some of our kith made it out of that giant shithole full of demons after the explosion. The rest are dead or missing. I don't know how many were rounded up by angry humans. If you're not dead and you remember who you are, help me find our brothers and sisters. Shokrakar. P.S. If you forgot who you are, I'll remind you. Your name is Adar. You are Vashoth. You didn't get paid for being blown up. I can't do an Iron Bowl impression. We're gonna meet him eventually. Yeah, send Liliana on this one. Now we'll go back again. Good, everybody's ready. You take the coin. Now let me see what we can do. Hard in Hightown 3. Yeah, I'll send Josephine on this one. Get that out of the way.
At your service.
And Cullen, I'm sending you to do some fundraising here.
All right.
I'm sure somebody wants to see you out of that armor. Go work on it. Get me some coin. Okay, and the rest of this is just going to be power I don't have available yet. Is that covering everything in RLA as well? I think so. Yeah, okay. The sooner all that's done, the better. Let me just make sure I have that all marked off on my list. Because there's a lot of war table operations, and I don't want to have to double back on this. Okay, that is 5 things done, and my file is at least 170 lines long, so we're gonna have a lot of war table shit to track. Okay. Now let's see, I need to talk with Varric. I want to talk to the Smith. I need to talk with Cassandra and Alistair as well. Not Alistair, Cullen. Oof. I can't tell these humans apart. Let's start with Varric, though.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot...
Let me try some of these other options,
All right.
maybe.
I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
I'm just glad to be alive.
I'm just glad I'm still standing after all that.
I still can't believe you survived Cassandra. You're lucky you were out cold for most of her frothing rage. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
Why did you stay?
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to...
Cosmic Donut is very tempting. Oof. I was lucky it hasn't sunk. We need to close the breach.
The breach needs to be sealed. The sooner the better.
If it can be sealed, you might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going.
Yeah, it's gonna cost me an arm and a
Heroes are
leg.
everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky, that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
I got more dialogue to take out of you. Let me just save first.
Need something?
We saw Red Lyrium when we were at the Conclave ruins. What can you tell me about it?
Red lyrium we found at the temple seemed to upset you.
My brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered Red Lyrium during an expedition in the deep ruins. We located an ancient tide so old it barely looked. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
What is it exactly?
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
Red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
So what does it do in particular?
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to
Turns living things into statues.
turned Kirkwall's Night
Okay, so if everybody's got to keep their distance, why was it in the temple?
How did the Red Lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
It wasn't from a Reaver corrupting the urn. Totally not that, no. I didn't import that save. Could be like a Kyber crystal just getting corrupted, bleeding as the Force cries out.
I think that's enough on Red Lyriums.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject. Need something?
I got a personal question.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
Want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined.
We speak the same language, then. How do you know Cassandra?
How do you and Cassandra know each other?
Heard about the Kirkwall Chantry being destroyed? The guy responsible used to be a friend of mine.
Yeah, Anders.
Seeger had questions about that. And I had answers.
Okay, so you had answers, but what do you do?
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant?
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchant Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores. In my spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally, I write books.
Oh, so that's all. Could you do Liliana's job?
You run a spy network. Why is Liliana our spy master?
To be honest with you, she's just a better spy master.
Modest.
A truly great
One thing I would not immediately tie to Varric.
attached to their people. Me, I always wind up babysitting my informants and worrying about their families. We're in better hands with her.
What shops do you own, though?
What sort of shops do you own?
Actually, we don't own shops. That was just an example. Mostly we invest in money lenders. Auction houses, a few mercenary companies, a couple of smithies. I think we own half a meat plantation in Ravine somewhere. Most of that's
Oh, so Doug Funny is a big fan of yours.
not much tact, but loads of business sense.
So he had a load of business sense. What do you have in terms of literary sense?
You're an author. What kind of books have you written?
Tried my hands on a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written. Infamous, maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romance.
I know at least one fan you have.
Most of my stories end in tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
Okay. But not every romance has to end tragically. For instance, I see you holding on to Bianca.
Where did you get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca, she's one of a kind.
She's about to be zero of a kind next game.
Ship and found her locked in a dragon bone reinforced chest in the hold. I broke 3 dozen lockpicks and blunted 9 saws opening that trunk, but it was worth it.
Why Bianca?
Who is she named for?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
And the reason for that is...
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it.
Okay, then maybe you can tell me a story. An origin story, if you will. Not origin like Dragon Age origins, but where are you from?
Are you from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free marchers, born and raised in Kirkwall. Despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
I would argue it is. I played Dragon Age 2.
Thanks, Varric.
Okay, now I gotta pick your brain about Hawk. Because if you're gonna run defense for Kirkwall, you gotta tell me something about Hawk.
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
Reaction. Go ahead.
Orsino's fate made no sense.
In the book, you say that first enchanter Orsino turned himself into a giant monster made of corpses. How? Why?
Do I look like an expert on magical weirdness to you? I can't tell you how. Why, all I can say is he was
So desperate, so desperate. Okay. The Aeroshock fight. You gotta give me some concessions there. What happened?
There is no way Hawk really could have killed Aeroshock. It would have started a war with the Qunari.
I was told later that the Qunari disavowed his actions.
Oh yeah, more politics now with horns.
Permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Cure didn't want another result in March.
Okay, you just want me to drop it. Okay. This is like thermal clips in Mass Effect. You just want me to drop it. Okay, I get it. Maybe you can tell me some more interpersonal stories. Like, we're Hawk's friends.
Where are the rest of Hawk's associates now?
Beryl decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the sages and Templars so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her own Davis clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Devinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees. I'm not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses.
Good, yeah, good as trail of breadcrumbs as any.
She's calling herself an admiral now. She's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Sebastian went back to Starkhaven. I'm sure he's warring all sorts of people.
Yeah, Sebastian might be giving us trouble later with the war table.
Helping some of the other survivors from the Kirkwall circle. Aveline is still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
Hang on, I'm not done.
Need something?
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
One more thing. Just one more thing. Anders. The terrorist. The Chantry bomber. Help me out here.
What happened to the mage who destroyed the Kirkwall Chantry? The book never said.
He fled Kirkwall with the mages from the circle. Stayed with them a while. But he had to move on. Somehow a lot of mages blamed him for making them live as
Can't imagine how that happened.
I don't know where he is now.
Okay, that's everything.
Carry on.
Don't think there's anything else. This is still the wrong house. I made that mistake how many times now? Gotta go down one more layer of stairs first. There you go. Adar. Kato came back looking like she'd crawled out of a dragon's mouth. Some of the others, too. Most of them wounded, all of them angry. But alive. Alive is important. They said they were sprung from some noble's dungeon by people in eyeball armor. I assume that's your doing. Thanks, Shakrakar. P.S. Good work on not being dead. Oh, and P.P.S. We still haven't been paid. I love the Kunari flavor. Okay. And you're still gathering coin. Did I have Josephine working on something? Yeah, she's still working on this. Only a minute left. I'll be back. Can't use the battle axe. But I could use the amulet of power, I think. Soon enough. Soon enough. This should be everybody chatted up here. Now I can move down to an even further lower level. And if there's any other deliverables I can find... Hang on. I don't remember you. No, save. Hang on. Did I just miss a chance for some dialogue here? I don't remember this character having dialogue. Okay, hopefully if that bubble pops again, I'm quick enough. Oh, more special shipments. Okay. I guess that's everything. I know there's a way to get face paint before you leave this area and go to the hinterlands. I know. Because I had that before I deleted my previous save. Are you just giving me the speech pop-ups to let me know they're the ones making noise?
Lissa wants to know if you have anything that could make tavern food taste a little more exotic.
If I had something with that kind of power, I'd be retired, living like Empress Celine.
He's not wrong. The spice is the key to more than just travel.
Good day. Or good as it can be for the Skyrim's part.
How's the mood? What's the vibe?
With most everyone here. How are people doing?
Oh, here in equal measure. No one really knows what it means when an Inquisition's called. Yet, of course, we're all getting
Inquiring minds.
well, you is our last best hope. Nothing personal.
Okay, last best hope. Why did you stick around if it's so desperate?
What kind of person stays to run a shop at a time like this?
Kind with nowhere else to go. Some blasted demons destroyed most of my goods. If I stay here, work some contacts, I can start rebuilding. Maybe, just maybe, help you folks out in the process.
Well, you know what? I guess that's more benevolent than it could be. Maybe I can buy something.
Can I see what you have for sale?
Where's Repetition?
I don't think there's anything worth buying at this stage. Maybe this is where I get the face paint, because it is relatively cheap. It's only 13 coins. Some schematics wouldn't be bad. Maybe I'll come back for that Vitar, but for now, I don't need it. Is there anything else out this way? I don't think there's any more NPCs I can chat up inside the walls.
That's an excellent point, Recruit. What if someone comes to lay siege to us? Perhaps it would be best for us to have some means to fight back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Good thing that's basically guaranteed. Not with haste, but it is coming. Did I miss any other lootables? I don't think so. Not yet, at any rate. Okay, we can step outside the walls, get some Cassandra and some Cullen. Because they don't just live inside the War Council room, they got other shit to do. Harrod's harrowing is not our problem. Let's talk to the stable master if he's got anything to say.
If the Inquisition wants to field a decent cavalry, it needs better horses.
Or horses at all.
Seeker Pentecost might try to acquire suitable mounts from Master Dennett in the hinterlands.
Oh, and who are you to be fishing around for what the higher-ups are doing?
Back in Ansburg, my uncle was 5th Greater.
And what's that mean for you back in Augsburg?
Honestly, about as much as it does here.
I could have changed back to this much sooner. Whatever. Oh, yeah, it's an Iron Bowl only amulet. Okay. It's Kunari, yeah, that makes sense. That's all those glints done with. Okay.
We're fine, thank you.
So I think this is where they tutorialize your first bit of crafting.
Expected you to buy. On habit. Everyone knows who you are. How's the new gear fit?
New gear. Leaves me a little bit open in the cold, but quite well, honestly.
Sturdy and warm. It's perfect.
The world's gone mad. Stock armor and blades are good against bandits, but we're not fighting bandits. My gear will suit demons, apostates, whatever this world throws at you.
Oh. Well, that's going to reflect poorly on the stream overlay as well. Let me see if I can get a connection back. It was going so well. Not like we didn't have any other outages, but well enough. Okay, do I have the overlay back yet? It's trying to refresh. Trying. Okay, let me refresh again. Still unable to see the current video instance. Okay, let's try.
So, you need custom work. Something special. You bring the materials to us, we'll make it happen.
Do you have any designs?
If I want something, what can you make?
Start simple. Something to keep you safe. Take a look at it on the table there and we can talk. You'll need materials. We should have what you want just outside.
Can you improve my gear?
Can you help improve my arms and armor?
Yes. You find a new piece, pauldron or greaves, we'll take care of you. You can't just slap a new hilt on your sword in the field. Bring it here, we'll make sure it's done right.
Okay, so you can do stuff here. What can you make more specifically?
What can you and your team make here?
Arms and armor. We work irons and blighted dragon bone if you've got it. Our designs are simple, but they get the job done. You want something fancy, bring your own design. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, but why do you need me to supply materials?
Does the Inquisition not have supplies to make armor or weapons?
Tough convincing traders to haul up here. Impossible to get them to risk the rare stuff, so that's on you.
That's fair. So you gotta give me some kind of reason to loot anyway. Now, what's your story?
How did you come to be here?
Come from a little town called Lothar.
No, I'm not loath to have your origin.
Hit it during the night. Helped rebuild. Left when royalty decided it was time to hand the place over to the bloody mages. Ended up here. Just
Well, I guess you're not gonna be happy when we end up recruiting them, are you?
son of a bitch walking. The exact opposite.
I'd go with lucky.
You're still walking. That's always good.
True enough.
Okay, now, do you outfit the troops? Like, how much of this armory are you responsible for?
Inquisition soldiers.
Not me. I've got work to do. Can't be passing a sword to every blighter who signs up. If you want to help the troops, talk to Thread, the quartermaster. She'll set up requisitions.
Okay, fair enough. I've already chatted her up. I got some errands I gotta run for her. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Right.
I don't think it's a quest or anything, right? No, it is have some armor made. Okay. Have some armor made, modify some armor. Okay. Well, I guess that means I've basically met everyone. Basically, not literally, not yet. I don't have the mats to make any armor yet. I guess I don't. I'll have to go rummaging around the wilds for more. give Maeve something when I get back. Oh yeah, Tigan's notes are in that cabin that I saw last time. Need to grab those. Can do it while I'm looking for the lumber. Being around all these church folks singing the same songs over and over again, it'd be like working retail during, not even during Christmas, just any time approximately close to the holiday. Mariah Carey would be burned into your frontal lobe. Yeah, she's not going to respond to that. Not for me, at least. Looks like we're going to need some stronger training dummies, and I don't want to be the dummy in question.
I think you need practice dummies made of sturdier stuff.
That would be nice.
Like maybe iron.
Did I do the right thing? What I have set in motion here could destroy everything I have revered my whole life. One day they may write about me as a traitor, a mad fool, and they may be...
So something entertaining. Yeah, that would be better. What do you believe?
What does your faith tell you?
I believe you are innocent. I believe more is going on here than we can see. And I believe no one else cares to do anything about it. They will stand in the fire and complain that it is hot.
I've raided with people like that.
But is this the Maker's will? I can only guess.
You don't think I'm chosen?
You don't think I'm the Herald of Andraste?
I think you were sent to help us. I hope you were. But the Maker's help takes many forms. Sometimes it's difficult to discern who it truly benefits, or how.
What happens next?
What's going to happen now?
Now, we deal with the Chantry's panic over you before they do even more harm. Then we close the breach. We are the only ones who can. After that, we find out who is responsible for this chaos. And we
Now that's a plan of action I can get behind.
And if there are consequences to be paid for what I have done, I pay.
Camera angles maybe need some work.
I only pray the price is not too high.
It's too late to turn back now. What's done is done.
Isn't it a bit late to worry about it now?
We have only just begun. My trainers always said, Cassandra, you are too brash. You must think before you act. I see what must be done, and I do it. I see no point in running around in circles like a dog chasing its tail. But I misjudged you in the beginning, did I not? I thought the answer was before me, clear as day. I cannot afford to be so careless again.
You weren't out of line. You had cause.
It wasn't like you had no reason to suspect me.
I was determined to have someone answer for what happened. Anyone. You've said you believe you're chosen. Does that mean you believe in the Maker?
Now this is a point where, depending on how you want your Inquisition founded, how you want to be as an Inquisitor versus just the Herald of Andraste. If you say yes here, you are going to start locking yourself into Faithful. Now, you have a special option here. I remember picking the special option my very first playthrough over a decade ago. But now, I want to play... I want to try Faithful Inquisitor. And I want to do that as a Canary because I think it'll be fun. So, yes.
I believe he exists.
You do? I'm surprised, but I suppose it's comforting. Surely the Maker put us both on this path for a reason. Now it simply remains to see where it leads us. Seems to me I don't actually know much about it.
What do you want to
don't know. You were interrogating me. I thought you got some info.
I suppose I could ask Liliana. She has collected a frightening amount of
Yeah, that sounds about right.
but I don't want to ask her. I want to hear it from you.
No specific place. My mercenary band worked mostly in the free marches, however.
At least until you crossed the waking sea to reach the conclave, I suppose. Tell me, do you consider the free march as your home? Are you eager to go back?
I don't remember which of these, if any, have any kind of impact. You know what? I'm a protagonist. Home is wherever I am.
Wherever I am is home enough for me.
That's how I feel now, after years of tending to business for the divine.
Okay, I told you about me. Now tell me about you.
I'd like to get to know you better.
You would.
Is that a problem?
Not entirely. I'm just curious as to your motivations.
Just being friendly.
No motivation beyond making things between us less...
Antagonistic.
Exactly.
As you wish. My name is Cassandra Pentecost, daughter of the Royal House of Navarre, 78th in line for the Navarran throne. I joined the Seekers of Truth as a young woman, and was with the Order until they withdrew from the Chantry. I remained as the Divine's right hand, carrying out her order to form the Inquisition. And here we are. That's all there is to know, my lady.
Your royalty? Yeah, 78th in line. That's a lot of dead meat to go through if she's actually going to have power.
You are a member of Navarre's royal family?
The Pentecosts are a very large clan. Half of Cumberland could say the same.
They got around. It's more than dragons. They're... Oh, wait, no. They're slaying dragons, right, of course.
Hundreds of relatives so distant they need charts to prove we're related at all. And they have them. Oh yes. The Pentecosts value their precious blood like it runs with them.
Is that why you left Navarra?
And you joined the Seekers to get away from that?
It was a life worth getting away from. The Pentecosts are famed for dragon hunting, but few actually pursue the craft. Most are fat and lazy. They pay lip service to the Maker and care only for idle pleasures and past glories. My brother was all that kept me in Navarre. Once he was gone, so was I.
I'll be sure to take you on a dragon hunt once we get that far. What happened to your brother?
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Antony. Another time, perhaps.
Okay, what about the country then? Tell me about
You
Navarra.
don't seem to like your homeland much.
My family polluted it for me. What little I saw of my homeland was through the bars of a gilded cage. My uncle treated me like a porcelain doll to be placed on a shelf and dusted only when necessary. Thus I did not see Navarre, the real Navarre, until much later. By then I realized I knew it not at all.
Okay, you know, your brother, your... What about your parents? What was their deal?
Your uncle? What about your parents?
They had the misfortune of taking the wrong side in the second attempt to overthrow King Marcus. The king executed them, but spared my brother and I since we were family and children at the time. Thus we were raised by my uncle, a Mortalitasi who preferred the company of his corpses to the living.
Mortalitasi. Okay. Never in my life have I encountered that. I'm speaking as my Kunari, not myself. Mortalitasi?
Was Mortalitasi?
A death mage. He still is. My countrymen do not burn the dead, they bury them in special crypts. The Mortalitasi supervise the crypts, like priests. Uncle Vestilas oversees the grand necropolis. Navarrans spend more time honoring dead relatives than they do with living ones. It is odd to be so fascinated.
The dead ones are a lot easier to listen to.
I will never understand it.
Okay, so... All that aside, you worked for Justinia, who... Yeah, we're talking about dead bodies. I'm sorry, that's probably an impolite segue.
So you were the right hand to the Divine.
Divine Justinian, yes. And Divine Beatrix before her, in fact. The position is no
Okay, you became a right hand, but what is a right hand? Aside from whatever's left for Liliana.
What does a right hand do exactly?
What is your hand capable of? It gives, it takes, it beckons. It makes a fist. Liliana and I extended the divine's reach beyond the Grand Cathedral. We went where she could not. After Beatrix, I was tired of her position and wanted to return to the Seekers. But Justinia convinced me to stay. Her vision for the future gave me hope.
You did believe in her.
You thought she could really change things.
Justinian knew the war was coming long before it began. She tried to avert it, but the forces arrayed against it were too strong. Sometimes you have to break a bone so it can be reset. That's where the Inquisition comes in. It was to be the answer. A means to preserve as well as an agent for change. I only wish I'd lived to see it.
How'd you become the right hand, though?
So what's the story about you becoming the right hand?
Sweet Andraste, you really want to
Yeah,
hear
a little
that?
bit.
It was, what, 18, 20 years ago? Some still discuss it like it happened yesterday. The tale gets bigger each time it's told. I barely recognize myself within it now.
So are you being modest, or... You know, just, you're being modest.
I'm sure.
Tone it down if you can. Try to surprise me.
I was there. I think I know what happened. To hear others tell it, I alone saved divine Beatrix from a horde of dragons sent to assault the Grand Cathedral. Rather impressive for such a young seeker, wouldn't you say?
And the truth is?
I stumbled upon a conspiracy to kill Beatrix. A Templar Knight Commander was at its heart, and there was a dragon battle at the Grand Cathedral. But I had help from loyal mages who rallied to the cause. They freed the dragons from magical control. Without them, the Divine and I would both have died. Yet I became the right hand. And they are forgotten.
Yeah, the mages kind of get written out of the story. They don't want to draw the big red circle around them. They do that Omega sign here. So, what happened to the mages?
What happened to the mages that helped you?
They went back to their circles, with rewards and privileges and most holy gratitude. Many of them died at the conflict.
Yeah, many of them died, but you're still a hero.
I think you're a hero. No matter how you downplay it.
Fine. But it was 20 years ago. I will not rest upon my laurels.
That's all for now, then.
I'll let you get back to work.
Get back to work. Don't rest on those laurels. Do you have anything else to say? Oh yeah, I didn't actually get to ask you about the Seekers or the Chantry, so... Let's circle back to this. Chantry, okay?
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Okay. Why'd you leave the Chantry then, if it's so necessary?
Against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the bold path. It is no different, but in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
You'll be long dead by then. You'll be judged posthumously. And I still think positively. Okay, so... Who's Roderick? What's his deal?
What influence does Chancellor Roderick really wield?
He's a bureaucrat, responsible for communicating the Divine's will to the rest of the Chantry. Therefore, he's accustomed to the clerics hanging on his every word, hoping his influence will benefit them. Despite that, Roderick is not a bad man. He's frightened, and believes his place is to fill the gap left by Most Holy's death. Some might agree. As far down the chain of command as he is, there is no one left above him.
Is he going to continue being a nuisance?
How big a problem could he be?
No more than he is already. He sent his message to the College of Clerics. That is the only card he had to play. Dealing with him further only lends him
We have many more cards at our table. Although that said, if we have more cards to play, should we even be in this game? Should the Chantry be saved?
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
I do
what is that new purpose?
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
Sounds idyllic.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. The chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
Okay, but who isn't going to come with, or what? I mean, will there be a new divine?
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinia?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her decree.
But what if they filibuster each other hard enough? What if you can't get these crotchety old religious dudes to be reasonable?
So what happens if they can't agree on someone?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance, and plenty of such clerics exist. We shall see what happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
Would you stick around with the Inquisition, or would you go back to the Chantry? A new divine might want a third right hand in a row.
If they do choose a new divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember? And even if she would,
Sometimes your hand has a mind of its own.
it would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine would expect such obedience.
That's all for now.
Thank you.
Actually, no, wait. I still haven't hit your Seeker tree, have I? Is there anything
I
left
have some
here?
more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Can I push this at all, or are you going to get fussy?
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to.
Okay, so it's exhausted on that tree for the time being.
I'll let you get back to work.
Greetings.
Tell me about the
Can you
Seekers.
tell me more about the
Were they just tokens, a collectible item, a valuable you could sell?
Inquisition long ago, when it united with the Chantry. Seekers stood above the Templars, watching over them but also investigating magical events they couldn't handle. We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Reality matched the idea.
So they were basically medieval specters. Were they specters, basically? What are Seekers?
But what are Seekers exactly?
Those who know anything of us think we are Templars. We do not use lyrium, however. Our abilities are different, as was our original purpose. We disciplined the Templars and were accountable only to the divine, and not even her truth.
Then who watched you?
So nobody ever watched over the Seekers.
It was the divine's duty, but she could only do so much when the truth was hidden from her. The Templars have always feared us. When a Seeker arrived at a circle, they knew trouble was afoot. That kind of power is troubling. You begin to think you are the only one who can solve the world's problems. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists it does, they are the blind ones.
Could that be fixed?
Do you think that kind of problem could ever be fixed?
Possibly. Though the Seekers themselves would need to change. They were clearly not willing to, even though they abandoned everything they stood for to avoid it. In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged, but not by their own hands.
How do you become a Seeker?
How does someone become a Seeker?
Most Seekers begin training in their youth. I was much older, an exception due to my unusual birth. We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds must be elastic to undergo the vision, and most fail even then.
is the Vigil? It sounds like a harrowing experience.
Is the vigil some kind of initiation?
It is the rite every seeker must go through in order to summon their gifts. A full year of fasting, prayer, and separation from all distractions, including other people. We empty ourselves of all emotion, focusing only on the purity of our devotion. And the moment it finally ends, it's wonderful. Faith realized. I cannot put it into words.
I want to say she was delirious, but I don't say that to her face, because she's still kind of in charge of me, and I can't fight the entire encampment on my own. You know, it does sound wonderful having something so indescribable.
I wish I could experience that.
If the vigil was not so arduous, I'd say more should come. What if mages never needed to fear possession by demons? I'm told it's impossible.
Do you still fear people finding your library? Okay, so you did your vigil. What abilities do you have?
You mentioned that Seekers have different abilities than Templars.
Entirely. The Templars' abilities come from Lyrium and are designed to hunt mages. Ours come from ritual and many years of dedicated training. We cannot
So you don't need the Captain America serum.
mind control. Useful considering our role. Seekers can gain other gifts, but that depends on the individual.
Again, what are your gifts?
What kind of gifts do you have?
I can set the lyrium within a person's blood aflame. Both mages and Templars bend before my will. Some seekers use it to interrogate, others simply to paralyze. Once there was a seeker who could use it to kill. That particular gift is considered rare.
Rare indeed. Much like them turning... well, turning. Turncoat. Why did they rebel?
Why did your order turn against the Chantry?
We originally united with the Chantry through a treaty that stated they would keep mages under control. It was felt most holy had tacitly allowed the Circle of Magi to vote on its independence, thus breaking the treaty. The Seekers saw themselves as justified, and they led the Templars into a war of righteousness.
Well, clearly you're not on that same branch of ideology. How do you feel?
You sound like you disagree.
We knew what was happening at Kirkwall, where the Mage Rebellion began. We looked into reports of Knight Commander Meredith's harsh treatment of her charges years earlier. But we found so many shocking cases of magical corruption, it was decided her actions were justified. If we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes,
Obviously, I have a self-interest in saying mages should be free. Cassandra's not going to agree, though. We're not talking about mage freedom, really. We're talking about investigating the root of the issue here with the rebellion. And yeah, it should have been investigated more.
You're right. Something should have been done.
when faced with a problem, Seekers would close ranks and crush it. We would find an answer, but only once we felt we weren't being coerced. The moment the mages voted for independence, our response was predictable. It was difficult to watch.
I have no more questions.
And that should mean the only thing you have left is...
I have some more questions.
your brother? Yeah, and you're not going to give me
I'll
that
let
right
you get
now.
back to work.
That just leaves Cullen, if I'm not mistaken.
See reasonless.
Oh, hang on, I forgot you.
Why not? Because we're Templars.
What does that even mean anymore? We splinter and fight amongst ourselves instead of protecting the mages.
Better that than stay here with this Inquisition.
You're awfully quick to dismiss the people who saved your life.
Why did I right-click out of that? Go back and save. You know what? It's a petty thing. I'm gonna reload that.
Reasonless, Ed. We cannot stay here.
Why not?
Because we're Templars.
What does that even mean anymore? That we splinter
Is that a problem?
You don't sound happy about that.
I'm not. Your people have stood against everything the Chantry believes for years. I did not join the Order to adjust my faith so easily, but I appreciate what the Inquisition is trying to do, and your work. Though you may find not many Templars do. We're a distrustful lot by nature.
Tell me about the Templars.
I like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once we both protected all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
What happened at the Conclave?
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that distance did save my life.
Why'd you join the Order?
How did you come to be a Templar?
It seemed the right thing to do. My family are tradesfolk in Denery. I could have become a cobbler like my father, but this seemed better. It's a chance to uphold the Chantry's laws and help the mages through a troubled time.
Help us?
I'm surprised to hear that.
Not all Templars want to make mages into prisoners or villains. Some of us just want to keep a balance and let you practice your craft in safety. One person trying to do something can make a difference. You should keep that in mind, Harold.
I intend to. Are you sticking around?
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
I respect it.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
There's Cullen.
You there. There's a shield in your hand. Plot with it. If this man were your enemy, you'd be dead. Lieutenant, don't hold back. The recruits must prepare for a real fight, not a practice one.
Yes, Commander.
We've received a number of recruits.
Nice camera angle.
Locals from Haven and some pilgrims. None made quite the entrance you did.
Ugh. I'm glad I'm here.
I just hope I can help.
As do we all. It's enough that you would try. I was recruited to the Inquisition in Kirkwall myself. I was there during the Mage Uprising. I saw firsthand the devastation it caused. Sir. Cassandra sought a solution. When she offered me a position, I left the Templars to join her cause. Now it seems we face something far worse.
You trust the Inquisition?
You left the Templars for this. You believe the Inquisition can work?
I do. The Chantry lost control of both Templars and Mages. Now they argue over a new divine while the breach remains. The Inquisition could act when the Chantry cannot. Our followers would be part of that. There's so much we can... Forgive me. I doubt you came here for a lecture.
I don't like your enthusiasm that much. I don't mind it, though.
You understand our situation. I appreciate your opinion.
Look around. Our people are well organized and committed. Despite what the clerics think, we are in the best position to help. There's still a lot of work ahead.
Commander, Sir Raiden has a report on our supply lines.
As I was saying.
Good camera angles, once again. I guess they didn't expect that many people to choose Kanari. Okay, let me just save before I get back to yapping. Actually, I kind of want to investigate another thing with Cassandra's dialogue, as long as we're fussing with save menus.
Close to me, I don't actually know much about you. I'm not sure. Tell me, do you consider the Free March as your home? Are you eager to go back?
I chose this one last time, and I don't think she's happy about eventually none, or I'd go. I'll say I hated it, see if
If I
that...
ever go back, it'll be too soon.
Really? That is
Yeah. I figured. I can't remember which dialogue option it was I was trying to pick apart.
So the Seekers...
No, the Order. The Templars have always seen us. That kind of power is troubling. You begin to see. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists. In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged.
How does...
We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds.
Is the...
The end, and the moment it finally ends.
Yeah, this is a choice that I don't think you should take, but it is an option.
Your mind was probably playing tricks on you by then.
Yet the gifts are real. I know no more than that.
Yeah.
If the vigil was not so, what? I'm told it's impossible, however. Seekers can gain other gifts, so that depends.
What kind...
Once there was a seeker who could use it to kill.
Why did...
It was the seekers saw themselves as just.
You sound...
We knew what we looked, but if we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes.
Would she have been more approving if I said I observe her caring about it?
You seem to care a great deal about it.
Too much, if you ask the rest of my order. We would find an answer, but the moment the mages...
Yeah, I think that was the one I was looking for, the seeker questions. I think. I'll go check again, just to be sure. And hey, you can ask her about whether or not that vigil was magic.
I'm not sure.
No,
Tell me, do you consider the Free March as your home? Are you eager to go back?
I might, once this is done.
It will not be the same once you do.
Oh, that's sweet.
Can you tell me?
We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach.
How did...
We trained rigorously for years.
Is the...
The moment it finally ended,
Was it magic, though?
Was it some kind of magic?
I don't fully understand it, to be honest. If the vigil was not so arduous,
Yeah, you get nothing else there.
Why...
The seekers saw themselves as just. But if we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes,
Mages were oppressed. What else did you expect?
Yeah, it's very self-interested. You could try to be honest with that, but it's not for this interaction, really.
find an answer. The moment the mages voted for independence,
Okay, I'm going to load one more time just so you can see the final option there. And then after that I have to reload a newer save so we can do the Cullen dialogue further.
occurs to me I don't actually know.
What do you want to know?
I'm not sure.
No specific...
Tell me, do you consider the Free March as your home? Are you eager to go back?
You know, we're just trying dialogue to see what it is. Let's say...
I'd go home, right?
Then I hope you can. Once this business is done.
Yeah, obviously she doesn't like it, but it seems like she understands.
We were meant to be incorruptible. Above.
Why did...
The seekers saw themselves as justified.
Yes.
But if we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked hard,
What happened couldn't be avoided. It started long ago.
we weren't helpless. When faced with a problem, seekers, we would find an answer. But the moment
Yeah, I feel like there's not really a meaningful distinction between those and the choices I took, so... Yeah, that seems like it's pretty much exhausted. I want to check with Cullen, though. See if there's anything else meaningful I could do in his dialogue. I'm not going to be flirting unnecessarily.
At least I got everyone's attention.
That you did. I was recruited the Inquisition. I was there. Sir. Now it seems we face something far worse.
They must have this mark for a reason. It will work, I'm sure of it.
Provided we can secure it. The Chantry lost control of both temples. The Inquisition could act, but forgive me. I doubt you came here for a lecture.
You've given this a lot of thought.
I know what happens when order is lost, and action comes too late. There's still a lot of...
Commander.
Yeah, so I think that's enough of replaying dialogues just to investigate minor differences. We'll go back to where we'd already played everything out, and we'll see if we can exhaust Cullen's trees a bit more directly. You're ready to report in. Can you report here? Okay. Oh, where to even start? Let's go with the colleagues. Tell me about the other people here.
What do you think of the people you work with?
What do you think of Josephine?
What do you think of our ambassador?
How she delights in meeting with nobles on her is beyond me. But I enjoy working with her.
What about Liliana?
How do you like working with Liliana?
Position, not insist. I may not always agree with her methods. She's more passionate about her cause than anyone. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition permanently. Liliana is just as responsible for its formation.
Now, soldiers should be giving the inquiry to our companions, if I'm not mistaken? Or no, this is talking about the general ranks.
Some Templars have joined us instead of following the order. They've proven invaluable in training new recruits.
I should let you get back to work.
Did you need something?
Is there anything I should know?
Is there anything I should know?
Okay, well, maybe you can tell me about yourself.
I should get to know you better. We're working together, after all.
Would you like to know?
All right. Where are you from?
I wasn't expecting this, but okay. How to act for Ferelden, my esteemed Lady Sidonia. I'd like to take full responsibility for Lady Marchalet's odd behavior of late. You see, we recently began the study of history. I thought that it would do the young mistress some good to be exposed to all Thedosian cultures and not just Orlais. It was a foolish thought. Regrettably, your dear daughter has taken a particular interest in Ferelden folklore. She first developed an affinity for King Calenhad, which seems to have devolved into borderline infatuation. She stared at me eyes wide when I told how he unified the barbarians with his allegedly incomparable might and charisma. Every time I tried to move the lesson on to something more important, she insisted I tell her again about Calenhad, how the Fereldans say his hair was twice as yellow as the sun, and his chin more chiseled than the tallest peak in the Frostbacks. Twice now, I've had to tear down drawings she's tacked up in her bedroom of a man shirtless. Then we moved on to the werewolves, which was even worse. As you may already know, the Fereldans venerate the folk heroes Dane and Hafter. Dane was said to have been a werewolf, and Hafter to have descended from one. No enlightened man or woman could ever view such beast people with anything but revulsion. But you know Fereldans and their love of wildlife. Unfortunately, these tales of the Wolfmen set the little mistress's imagination afire. When she suggested we put on a play for you and her lord father, I could not say no. I'm afraid that's why Marchalet was running through the mansion wearing wet furs and frightening the chambermaids. She was rehearsing a scene in which Hafter drives back the Darkspawn. I've been informed that some priceless family heirlooms were destroyed amidst all that confusion, and I cannot fully express my dismay. I understand if my abject failure as a tutor results in my immediate dismissal. A letter from Brother Bernard to his former employer. Please dismiss me. I don't want to deal with this furry, horny teenager anymore.
I was transferred to Kirkwall shortly after the Blight. This is the first I've returned in almost 10 years.
So, tell me about the Blight.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight. Did you fight Darkspawn?
No, I was stationed in Ferelden
Yeah, I didn't give you the right to kill all those mages back then. The hero for Relden, let me say.
What happened to the Circle Tower?
Okay, that's fair. So maybe you could tell me about Kirkwall.
What was Kirkwall like?
While I was there, Nari occupied and then attacked the city. The Viscount's murder caused political unrest. Relations between mages and Templars fell apart. People stayed out the Chantry, and Knight Commander went mad. Other than that, it was fine.
Yeah, that sounds about as benign a summary as DA2 can get. Tell me about the rebellion from your perspective.
Between Kirkwall's mages and Templars?
You were in the conclave. You must have heard people speak of it.
Yes, but you were there.
There was tension between mages and Templars long before I arrived. Eventually, it reached a breaking point. There was fighting in the streets. Abominations began killing both sides. It was a nightmare.
How did it end? Aside from the Legacy DLC.
What happened then?
Templars should restore. Red Lyria had driven Knight Commander Meredith mad. She threatened to kill Kirkwall's champion. Turned on her own men. Not sure how far she could have gone. Too far.
So you opposed her?
I stood with the champion against her. In the end, I should have seen through Meredith sooner.
Okay, so as long as we're talking about problems in Kirkwall, you know where Varric's from, right?
Varric's from Kirkwall. Did you two know each other?
I knew he was friends with the champion of Kirkwall, Klaus. We've spoken more since I joined the Inquisition, largely at Varric's insistence. Apparently, I spent too much time with a serious expression on my face. And it's bad.
Resting serial killer face. I get that entirely. But you were gone for a while, and you always knew how to come back in just the wrong
Are
moment.
you glad to be back?
I was not sorry to leave at the time. Not expect to return. Now, between the Divine's murder and the breach, I've arrived to find nothing but chaos.
Yeah, you do have a perfect sense of timing.
I'll let you return to your work.
Another time then. Did you need something?
Could you tell me about Templar life?
I'd like to know more about the Templars.
If you need insight into what the Order is doing now, I'm afraid I can't offer more than you already know. Anything else, I will answer as best I can.
What do Templars do, exactly?
Do the Templars do anything besides hunt mages?
Templars protect against the dangers of magic. Before the Order left the Chantry, that meant serving in a circle. They were also tasked with tracking apostates or fighting demons inevitably summoned by the weak or malicious.
What do you think of mages? Asked the mage.
What do you think of mages? Are they all a
I would have liked it if this line was rephrased as, "Are we all a threat?"
I've treated mages with distrust regarded. At times without cause. That was unworthy of them. I'll try not to do so.
Yeah, I remember the request you made back in DAO.
Our base completely unchecked. We need safeguards in place to protect people, including mages, from possession of the beast.
That's fair. Okay, so how are Templars trained?
What does Templar training involve?
There is weapon and combat training. Even without their abilities, Templars are among the best warriors in Phalanx. Initiates must also memorize portions of the Chant of Light, study history, and improve their mental focus.
Did you enjoy it, though?
Did you enjoy your training?
If I was giving my life to this, I would be the best Templar I could be.
You were a model student.
I wanted to be. I wasn't always successful.
Nerd.
Watching a candle burn down while reciting the chant of transfigurations wasn't the most exciting task. I admit, my mind sometimes wandered.
Okay, but was it wandering to or from your vows? Like, what were your
Do Templars
promises
make
there?
vows? I swear to the Maker to watch all the mages, that sort of thing.
There's a vigil first. You're meant to be at peace during that time, but your life is about to change. When it's over, you give yourself to a life of service. That's when you'll get the filter. First draft of lyric.
I still hate that spelling of draft.
We are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement.
It's not a unique Dragon Age problem either, that's just the way you spell it. Okay, so you lived in a circle.
You've lived in the Circle. What was a typical day for a Templar there?
Do you not speak to the mages?
Templars and mages never speak to each other?
Some. The Templars are supposed to maintain a certain distance from their charges. If a mage is possessed or uses blood magic, he must act quickly, without hesitation. Judgment could not be clouded. Of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
Okay, so you were paying close attention. You were in there and you had a terrible sense of timing, but you were still doing your best. Why did you become a Templar?
Why did you join the Order?
I could think of no better calling than to protect those in need. I used to beg the Templars to allow enchantry to teach me. At first, they merely humored me. I must have shown promise, or at least a willingness to learn. The Knight Captain spoke to my parents on my behalf. They agreed to send me for training. I was 13 when I left home.
That's a bit young for the Templars, isn't it?
14. That's still so young.
I wasn't the youngest then. Some children are promised to the Order at infancy. Still, I didn't take on full responsibilities until I was 18. The Order sees you trained and educated first.
What about your family, though?
What about your family? Did you miss them?
And there were many my age who felt the same. We learned to look out for one another.
Okay, that's all for that dialogue tree.
No. Thank you.
Another time then. Did you need something?
That one I already checked. That one... Why did the Templars leave?
Why would Templars break away from the Chantry?
The Order believes the Chantry no longer supports their efforts. Not to the extent they should.
What changed?
The Templars have served the Chantry for ages.
In that time, they've come to take the Order's services for granted. Templars risk their lives against blood magic, demons, abominations, to feel as if those efforts are dismissed. I may disagree with the Order's actions, but I'm here as proof of it. I sympathize with their frustrations.
Okay, let's see if I can get any other information out of you. I'm not going to ask if he's with anybody. I'm not interested.
Is there anything I should know?
Present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
What do you mean?
I've already done this, so no more
I
questions.
should let you get back to work.
That's enough of that, then.
Why not?
Because we're Templars. Better now we stay here with this Inquisition.
You're awfully quick to dismiss the people who saved your life.
Okay, so we're going to go off on a bit of a wander. I didn't really mean to leave that marker. Special shipments. I think that's already depleted, isn't it? Oh well. I think I've chatted up everybody I can in the area, at least thus far. Is there anything else available in Haven as far as quests go? I know where that is. I need to get some materials before I can make or modify armor. And I'll give Maeve an item when I go back to the council room. You don't have to worry about uncovering Fog of War here. This portion of the map's already uncovered. Partition. Oof. I can English, I swear. And as you can see here, wandering to the perimeter's edge will try to take you to the world map. Don't need it. Not right now, at least. Though it is nice you can leave on foot if you're so inclined, and not have to use the War Council's fast travel. Not necessary, but still nice. I like it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. You don't want me to go all the way up to the edge of the mountain. I know. you're still a little finicky with how open the open world is.
There must be something here.
I need to remember where that's bound. No sense in passing up these crafting mats. That's about as good as your spidey sense gets, pointing out crafting mats when you're in the general vicinity. Even if I have enough iron to make a piece of armor, I don't think I have enough cloth yet. I didn't investigate this interior yet. Forgot. Oh. Why did I not loot these for the first time I was here? Why did Past Me not loot this? Past Me is an idiot. So is present and future, though. What kind of slot is this again? It's not going to be running short on that for long. Okay. And as you can see, this doesn't just have a statistical impact, it also color coordinates based on the materials and which slots you place them in. Okay, I don't care about renaming that right now. I could have made a Chakratar. I guess I could have. Oh well. Now let's modify it. There should be one less thing in my journal. I need to go back out for the logging stand anyway. I'll take it a long way around, maybe. There's only so much around here in the starting zone. At least they give you a lot of space to run around in it. Yeah, they don't want you going this way. Penitence Crossing. Pilgrims seeking to visit the Temple of Sacred Ashes are allowed to ride as far as the bridge known as Penitence Crossing. Then, whether they be sick or healthy, young or aged, the pilgrims are expected to walk by the temple sisters who supervise the bridge. All but the very sick and old are asked to shed heavy coats as they cross the bridge, allowing the cutting winds to strip prideful fixation upon this world from the flesh. The bridge is also of significant military value, used especially for these purposes in the years since the Fifth Blight. As a choke point against bandits, rebels, or even Darkspawn stragglers, the bridge serves as a defensible fortification to protect the Temple of Sacred Ashes from threats. From Walking the Chant by Sister Dorcas Guerin. Oh, there. Okay. And would you look at that? It's another door. But this one you can't walk out of. Or can you? Yeah, this one's far enough away from the chantry that it's actually uncovering chunks of the map. I don't remember if you can get out this one. Hang on. Yeah, they don't want you to. Slightly disrespectful, let me be more blunt. Kicking up a lot of dirt off those bodies, or maybe that's a different kind of brown, gaseous substance. They chose the wrong chosen one. Don't make me get teleported over leaving the mission zone again, please and thank you. Yeah, that was one of the other things that seemed increasingly common with games in the Frostbite engine once upon a time. They all had to borrow that battlefield mechanic of limited explorable zones and kicking your ass if you tried to push the limits. For an allegedly open-world RPG, that does not exactly bode well. But that was what EA wanted at the time. Everybody was using Frostbite, whether it made sense or not. No, am I gonna have to find another area to climb? I guess so. You jump off one bridge and get distracted, and you're right back where you started anyway. If your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? If they were going towards loot, yes. Oh, I missed this one. Do you only have the one book? Guess I don't remember the area as well as I thought. Water is wet. Gotta love that mobility, right? I need a line of sight to make sure I hit. There we go. A little XP never killed anybody. Well, it killed him, but... Gotta peel away the armor off of this one. Good, I could use a little bit of a challenge. Nope, you got too far. Okay, Bison Steve, what else you got? I guess that means I should probably go back for the nugs I was passing on earlier. Stubborn bastard, you're taking longer to kill than the first Pride Demon. Guess I didn't time that as well as I'd hoped, but I also wasn't expecting this thing to turn into a koala. Get out of the damn trees, you stupid animal. Nice whiff. Too steep, I'm getting slowed down by the mountain itself. Almost there. Get back here. There we go. 2 XP for all that. It got me a codex entry, though, and some Druffalo hide, but mostly the codex entry. I'll take it. You're chill, though, right? You don't mind that I killed a member of your herd? Good. Oh yeah, I'm sure they were able to not find me even slightly until I put down a giant golden marker. I already killed one of you. I think it's just the nugs I need to get closer to the main roads. Hey, at least I'll have some new accessories when I go back to town with all this fresh blood. It'll go with my new Vitar that I'm going to have to buy from the shop, apparently. Okay, okay.
May as well turn around.
Yeah, at least you didn't teleport me, I suppose. Thanks for that. Does that mean all the iron north of here would respawn? There's the Elfert too. I don't want to double up on any locations, really. I just want to go back. Yeah, I think everything's respawned now. At least everything that was in the northerly section. Northerly and eastern. Okay. Hopefully that means I can get nugs too. I'm not going to go grabbing every last resource deposit that respawned. Obviously, by the time I do that, the other half of the map's going to finish respawning. No, I just want one more thing. Another codex entry. And maybe a little extra elf fruit. There we go. That's my prey. Where's my entry for the nugs? There we go. One of them even left me a spare rib. Okay, that should be enough materials. I'm going to get myself a Vitar so my Canary has some headwear. And then we're going to check in with my counselors. And we might be done for the day. We'll be all ready to go to the hinterlands. Nothing left. Well, no stones left unturned, but I'm turning stones presently. So, yeah. We're going to have to move on to another zone to start questing anyhow. Give me some face paint. Yes, please. Yeah, it's better than the other one, at least stylistically. Crit bonus versus just raw attack. There's arguments to be made, but this one looks more my style. And I don't have helmets hidden, right? Where is that option? Is it an interface? Okay. What else do you have for buying and selling? Did I clean you out on blueprints? I reckon I did. Okay. What about my inventory? How cluttered is it? I'm over halfway full, so I should probably clean some of this out. You don't get access to storage until you get to the next HQ. I don't know how much you care about spoiling that, but yeah. This isn't going to be our final residence. Okay, now we go to turn in those notes for the alchemist. Then we go to Manave, I think. Turn in some kind of monster material to research. This look like the face of forgiveness.
You thought Master Tajin was working on something special. If it helps, I found his notes.
The old culture was on the edge of a breakthrough here. You couldn't see it. You want some of these mixed up?
So which were those? Mana potions? I don't remember. Lyrium potions. There we are.
Farewell.
Don't ask about the blood? Even better. Better turn in your logging stand before I forget. Directly to you.
Can I help you with something?
No, I gotta go to the table.
Farewell.
Make a go with you.
One power. Nebulous power it is.
Nice work with those supplies. The Smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
Glad I could help. Guess there's nothing else to say.
Farewell.
Make a go with you.
Nothing else to turn in. Might as well go in.
Enough bandages to cover. Start tearing off shirts now. If the Inquisition can afford fancy new uniforms, it can afford that.
I wonder if this blood is going to stay on me if I go into the council chamber. Because ordinarily you're not supposed to be able to take damage in these safer areas, at least not like this. I do love the exceptions, though. And perfect bloody pajamas. It's perfect.
Chancellor Roderick came to speak with me. Could you try not to antagonize him?
If I offend the man so easily, perhaps he should try leaving me alone.
There we go. My dear Josephine, I've looked into the matter of your writer. That book, by the way, is truly dreadful. It has been panned by every critic in Antiva. The publisher does not know the identity of the writer. They receive manuscripts by courier. I was able to track down the courier, however, who is receiving her packages from another courier out of Kirkwall. Best of luck. Katarina Balesti. Nothing else I can do over here right now. Guess I might as well just assign another gather coin.
At your service.
I'm not going to be hanging around long enough to see if you can do that in just 48 minutes. We're about to punch out. I love the bloody pajamas. You're never supposed to see that, but it can be done, demonstrably. Let me just... not delete, save. What am I doing? Autopilot. Bad. Okay.
Please tell me if you find something.
Alright, that's a start. And with that, I think it is safe to say we're ready to punch out for the night, because I don't know if you could hear my stomach growling, but I am hungry and tired, and it's been a long day. But the adventure's only going to get longer. Giggity? No. I mean, we're going to be back soon. I don't know about the weekend for recording purposes. I might also try to do something different. There's a Terra raid going on in Pokemon right now. I might stream the Superior raid. I don't know. It seems fairly simple. I already found 3 builds I want to try, 2 of which I've already started building. As it stands, though, the Inquisition has exhausted what it can in Haven, so now, next time, we need to explore the godforsaken hinterlands, the most oversized and expansive zone in any Dragon Age game that made everybody hate the idea of Inquisition being an open world. You know I'm going to get distracted. You know I'm going to have tangents. You know I'm going to explore every last corner of it. And you're going to be here for it. I bet you're even going to enjoy it, you sick bastards. You want me to torture you. Well, request denied. I'm gonna make you wait for it. I'm gonna edge you. Until next time. Maybe we'll do more Dragon Age, maybe we'll do some Diablo. I found out the expansion for Diablo is coming out before Veilguard is, so we'll see what's to come. Didn't realize that might also have a blue or red underline on it. There's multiple variants. It's kind of a homophone. Come again?